Hi, Dale Penner here. Happy to be on Hank's Corner, and make sure you listen to this podcast.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Hank's Corner. You know who I am. I'm Hank Jr., part of Hank Jr. Productions, where I'm documenting life's moments through photography, videography, and of course, podcasting. And, haven't done this for a while, so I'm going to get to do it again. I have a special co-host, Sarah Harrelson, and you know her from, being on the podcast before. We've done some world premieres, and of course, she wrote the best song in the world for me and my wife. So, Sarah, welcome back to Hank's Corner, and as a co-host this time.
Thank you, Hank. Yeah, I'm excited to co-host this time, and excited because in a few weeks in June, I'm heading down to Tampa, to your neck of the woods, to play at Tiki Cove. So that'll be exciting as well.
Yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that, and it's definitely going to be exciting. And I'll give you the honors of introducing this guest that we have on.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe this is your first producer on your show, so very exciting. I'm happy to introduce the producer I'm working with, Dale Penner. He worked on Nickelback's first album, worked on Loverboy's Heaven in Your Eyes, which was on the Top Gun soundtrack, and currently he's been working on my music. He produced my single Denim. We're co-producing my next album together, and he's produced music for other current artists such as Delaney Ann, Andrew Salgado, and Garage Boys. So he's definitely working on a lot of genres. So Dale, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, welcome, Dale. Welcome to
Hank's Corner. We meet virtually again.
And speaking about virtually, that's the crazy thing about this, because I've talked to people all over the place now because of this. Could never have done this as a kid if I had imagined. Dale, where are you actually calling in from?
I'm in Winnipeg, Canada.
Okay, so is it still cold up there, or is it starting to heat up?
Not. Finally, it's warmed up. Just recently, though. It takes a while. I mean, where I live, it's I'm just above North Dakota, so we get it's chilly here in the winter. We get a very distinct change of season. It goes from like -40 to +40.
Oh, well, this is the time of year that I would rather be switching with you. Sarah's an athlete. I know that. And I was out there running today, and, it's probably 92 degrees base temperature here. I'm not sure what the heat index was, but it's already getting too hot for me here in Florida.
Right. Yeah, Florida heat's no joke to running.
Not at all. And Dale, we're definitely excited to hear about what it's like to be a producer, because I've never really gotten to see that aspect of it. Offline we talked a little bit about that. I've done over 150, coming on 160 episodes now, and I have not had anybody to show me the work. And so we're definitely looking forward to seeing some of the tricks in the trade and how you and Sarah work together. But tell us how you and Sarah met.
Sarah and I met through her label, Synapse. Doris, who runs that label, and Doris introduced me to Sarah, and we met doing a session for Women Behind the Lyrics, a film documentary that's in the process of being made. And we worked on a Denim for that project, and then 3 other songs that were part of that project that Sarah was part of. So that was our first connection.
Yeah, and what was interesting about that is the first song we worked on together, Denim, we had never met in person. Our latest session, Dale was here in Nashville for the recording session, so that was nice to be in person. But for that particular session, Dale was coming in through a platform called Session Wire, so kind of like this, but you can hear everything that's going on in the studio in real time. So he was calling in virtually while I was cutting my vocals for Denim and while the band was playing. So it was really interesting and a different experience for me to have like the producer not there in person, but it still worked out great with the technology we have now. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and tell the fans, and including myself, who may not be skilled in this sort of stuff. So, Sarah, you probably came up with the concept with the denim, wrote the song first, maybe scribbled it, kind of come up with the melody, and then you kick it over to Dale. Is that how it works?
Yeah, so I co-wrote Denim with my label mate Delaney Ann. She's also on Synapse Publishing and Entertainment. And then we decided to cut the song while we were doing filming and recording for our upcoming documentary, Women Behind the Lyrics. And so what happened was we got all the band members together for who was going to be on the recording. My husband, Andrew Kugler, played drums on that recording. And so basically, the band members chart the songs beforehand, and then everyone gets in the studio, and which doesn't always happen because not everyone, gets in the studio all together anymore. Some, do their parts and just send it off to the producer.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice, most of the band members on the song being together to record it. And then we had the engineer, so he was doing the actual recording for us in the studio, and then Dale in the producer role was coming in virtually on session wire, so he's listening to everything that's happening in real time and making notes like maybe we should do this instead, or sing this in a different way, and just taking the lead on how everything's coming together.
So Dale, you do get a part of that creative process as well. It's not just, okay, we're going to put it together and make it whole. You have a say in, what your vision might be too, right?
Well, I mean, that even happens before we get to the studio, where like Sarah and I would have gotten together on some pre-production, just, with her guitar and vocal kind of working out the arrangement of the song, the tempo, where there might be a break, that kind of stuff. So that all happens, and then we send an MP3 to the band that has our very rough skeleton idea, and then they make the charts from there. So, I'm big on preparation because it allows when you get to the studio, you're capturing performances.
All right. Well, I want to go ahead and play Denim here on Hank's Corner, and when we come back, I want to see a sneak peek of how you kind of work behind the scenes, because I'm definitely very curious about that.
I'll give you the technical lay of the land, dude.
I ain't never seen you like that. Got your hair all combed and slicked back, and you didn't ask, but it's not your style. I ain't never seen you so stressed, out here like trying to win best dressed. Did she teach you how to tie on that tie? She's ribbon, she's pearls, she's diamonds and curls. Baby, I'm Wrangler, timeless. Ain't nowhere else you can find this. I'm classic, I'm trendy. You pull me away and now you miss me. She can try all she wants, fit you into that suit. But baby, I'm denim, and I look good on you. I look good on you. Boy, I wish she could see you when you're wearing those jeans. I bet she don't even own a single pair. It don't look like you can breathe. Back it up, get into me. You've changed so much, time not to stare. Baby, I'm Wrangler, timeless. Ain't nowhere else you can find this. I'm classic, I'm trendy. You pull me away and now you miss me. She can try all she wants, fit you into that suit. But baby, I'm denim, and I look good on you. I look good on you. Dress me down, dress me up. I know you'll come back soon enough. When you realize you miss those Levi's now. Dress me
Welcome back to Hank's Corner. It's Hank and Sarah, guest host. We love it when I get to do this. We're doing Hank's Corner here together, and we got our special guest, Dale Penner, on. And you just heard their collaboration of Denim, which is a great song. I know I love it, and I love the cover art too. As the photographer, I got you up there in the back where we've done a couple things together. But quick plug. Who did your photography this time?
Yeah, that was someone named Kinsey Maroney. She did the photography for my denim session, and then I did the design artwork on it. So I love how it came out. And Hank, I believed you won the denim contest that I ran last
right.
December too.
I got a little lucky on answering some of those questions.
Oh, really cool.
Yeah, and so Dale, I'm gonna do something here that we haven't really done. We're gonna share the screen, and for those that are at home, I'm not very technical, so this is like a big deal for me. But once we share the screen, I want you to kind of walk through a little bit of how Denim came together.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so I have the Pro Tools session here for Denim with all the many tracks we recorded. So when I organize a session, it kind of just starts with what you record first, and in this case it was the drums. So you can see there are all of the drum tracks right here. The snare drum, and so on, and then it just, you kind of build the song from there. So when we were in the studio and Sarah was talking about doing the track, getting the band together, that would have been bass, drums, acoustic guitar, and then we would have added just a bunch of rhythm guitars that we did on Session Wire with a guy named Rich Conder.
So not being familiar with this particular program, I mean, my video software is very similar where it has the different tracks and you're overlaying the different videos and songs and everything. How much of this particular one is people that actually artists that record it ahead of time versus can you add stuff in here, whether a certain beat or certain sound effect or anything through this program, and how much is done outside of it?
Well, in this case, a lot of it was done outside of this. The drums and bass were all recorded remotely in Nashville when I wasn't there. I was producing this online, as opposed to the last time when Sarah and I worked together. I went to Nashville and recorded. The rhythm guitars, all of the guitars were recorded virtually. Chris Condon from Nashville did them. We did them with his remote program called Audio Movers. And then the steel was done remotely, and Sarah and I did the vocals together during that weekend we were recording. So it's a whole mix of stuff, really. And so you can put together a song any number of ways, and you end up with,
Stress out here like trying to win best dressed. Did she teach you how to tie on that tie? She's ribbon, she's pearls, she's diamonds and curls. Baby, I'm regular, timeless. Ain't nowhere else you can find this.
So, I mean, with technology nowadays, you can record things kind of anywhere. And what I do as a producer, I put together all of these performances from wherever the best place seems to get them from, depending on the song and the project, and I get them all into my system in the end and mix them.
Interesting.
That's kind of the short version of what happens.
As a videographer, one of the things that I do, especially when it comes to weddings or whatever, I'm usually kind of putting together some, video with the music. And, a lot of artists have been really nice and saying, yeah, go ahead and, use my music for your videos. And one of the things, though, is that just sometimes the way it goes, I kind of need like a little bit of instrumental, to it, as opposed to just the whole talking for whatever reason. Maybe they're talking or whatever. With this program, and is that something that you do to say, hey, if we're just going to release an instrumental version or copy, does this do that for you?
Well, we do. I do instrumental versions of everything I do, for exactly the reason you just mentioned. So yeah, when I deliver a final mix at the end of a project, I deliver full mix, instrumental mix. Sometimes they have an edit that's needed for a certain format, and any number of things. Sometimes I just did a thing the other day where somebody wanted just their lead vocal for something. So,
yeah, sometimes they request that if you get a scene
Yeah.
placement in a movie, maybe they're like, we don't want the background vocals, or we just want the background vocals. So it's good to have the stems, is what we call it, the individual tracks of the song.
So it's not like you have to record anything over unless you wanted a different version of it. Everything's going to be right there. Just depends on what you click and unclick as to what's going to be playing.
Yeah, I would just export the tracks that they needed.
All right, sounds good. And how long does something like this take? I mean, obviously, you know, it depends obviously where they're recording their part, but when it comes to you and you're mixing and matching and putting things together, what generally is the time that it takes to do that?
Man, it's, you know, it used to be easy to figure that out because you would just start with a project with an artist and then see it from beginning to end over one length of time. You wouldn't, but now I tend to work on different projects at the same time, all of them kind of in different stages of completion, or, you know, that kind of thing. So it's hard to say. I would say, 12 hours of overdubs and whatever, something like that. Nowadays, if I farm some stuff out, I send it to like the steel player on that song. I just sent him the song and he sent me back 3 steel parts. I didn't have to really be there for him. So it depends. Hard to say. It's really hard to say, but I think 12, I used to budget when I book a studio, I'd budget a day and a half for overdubs per song.
All right. Well, that's definitely very interesting. And like I said, sometimes it could be a little bit complicated for me. I'm not the savviest when it comes to technology, but I'm kind of picking up the similarities to the video that video software that I use. Right. I want to go ahead and play another song that you produced, Delaney Ann's 232. And when we come back, I want to learn more about Dale the Man.
Okay.
Home's where the heart is. Mine's never been attached. I hit 232. Those old railroad tracks, a dirt road with potholes. Suddenly, I swear I'm a kid again. My handprint in concrete, right next to my sister's. It's been there too long for us to remember. We grew up past those doors and acres they bought back in '84. If home's where the heart is, mine's on that front porch, just like my dad and like his dad before. If I ever get lost, I know just what I'll do. I'll find my way back down 232. Pappy sat by the fire and we flipped through old memories. He told us some stories about our family history, a county road and ranch, bringing me right back to who I am. And I really didn't get it for most of my life, all those days in the sun fixing what he could find. I think now I do. He left more than land down to 32. If home's where the heart is, mine's on that front porch, just like my dad and like his dad before. If I ever get lost, I know just what I'll do. I'll find my way back down to 32. Well, times sure are changing, but not out in Grimes. I swing open that gate and go back in time. If home's where the heart is, mine's on that front porch. Just like my dad and like his dad before. If I ever get lost, I know just what I'll do. I'll find my way back down to 32. To 32.
Welcome back once again to Hank's Corner. I'm Hank Jr. here with my co-host Sarah Harrelson, and we're talking with producer Dale Penner here. And Dale, I want to learn a little bit about you, because here at Hank Jr. Productions, I pride myself. The tagline is documenting life's moments, and we want to hear about yours. But before we do that, I always like to play a game called Two Truths and a Lie. And basically, how this works is you'll give me three statements, two of them being true, one of them being false, in any order. And then by the end of the podcast, I'm going to have to guess. And in this case, we're going to have Sarah playing along which ones are the truth and which ones are the lie. So if you would like to play, hit us up.
Okay. As an engineer and a producer, my records have sold more than 14 million copies. My interest in golf has led me to be a very strong competition golfer. The first project I ever did was at a studio called Mushroom Studios in Vancouver.
So I need to figure out, as an engineer / producer, you have sold more than 14 million copies. Your interest in golf has led you to be a strong competitor in that. Or, the first production that you have done was in Mushroom Studios in Vancouver. And, I always like to think ahead, like as far as what I think might be it and why. And when it comes to golf, though, I am not good as a golfer. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to wish you well to be a good golfer or not, because I just stink at it. So. But I definitely hope that the 14 million copies is true. Maybe even more. We'll have to figure that out, Sarah. So, tell us a little bit, Dale, how did you get started in this business? What inspired you, and why did you go this particular route?
I started out as a music fan. I love music. I took trumpet lessons and piano lessons when I was growing up, a lot of music in the family. And after high school, I just, I started hanging out with bands and started doing some recording, and just really got into the whole concept of being, working in a studio. So I took a crash course at a place called the Recording Workshop in Chillicothe, Ohio, moved to Vancouver, west coast of Canada, and just started working at studios and working my way up, like a lot of other people have. Started at the bottom and got a couple of breaks with some great projects that brought me to where I am now, which is lucky to have made a living at it for a long time.
Yeah, and you said that you were a fan first. So, growing up, what were some of the songs and artists that you were listening to? Who were your influences?
Well, I love AC/DC. Leonard Skinner for sure. A lot of Southern rock for sure. Charlie Daniels Band, all of those kind of bands. And then, I just kind of worked, listened to these different genres. Motley Crue, love Motley Crue. I just love party rock from those eras. So those would probably be the kind of bands, guitar oriented bands I would have listened to when I was growing up, and everything from like mellow or Southern stuff to, party rock.
Yeah, and a lot of your early years of your career, Dale, you're working in rock. So were you always working in different genres, or what led you to expanding what you were producing to country and Americana and even soul with Wendy Moten's song?
Well, I came from an engineering background, so I was an engineer before I was a producer. So the transition to going to recording not in the computer with everything, like setting up bands was always something that I love to do. So, I mean, I produced tons of rock, and I worked with a lot of bands. I tended to, put a group of people in the studio to record, not just do it all internally. So that kind of got me into doing more of the country stuff, because country was still really doing a lot of that. It was still really about artists and musicians getting into a room and performing. And even Americana, all of those genres were about people that were really good at their instruments and really, great vocals. So, and you could set them up in a room together and capture a performance from all of them at the same time. And that's kind of where my whole career started as a recording engineer, partly because that's how you had to do it back then. But it always stuck with me. And I was thinking about that the other day too. It's like, that's kind of why I think I love doing these kind of projects that I seem to have caught on to. And even Wendy's thing was the same thing. It was like, you were there, we set up a band, and Andrew and David and everybody they were playing together. Wendy had just laid down a vocal. So there was that camaraderie. And that to me was what I love about making records, is still being able to do that.
Yeah.
Pretty
And
cool.
I think,
And it's not really genre specific, I don't even think.
right. I think that can be kind of lost now. A lot of people are just producing in their bedroom without even seeing the other people they're collaborating with on a song. So I still love being able to get together in the studio with players, even if some are going to be remotely doing overdubs later. It still helps to be in the room with the other creators. But also, it's great to have the technology now. So, like when I'm in Nashville and you're in Canada, Dale, we can just hop on Session Wire. I can record any vocal overdubs right here in my apartment, and you can hear them in real time and just kind of, coach me on what you're hearing so we can nail down the vocal parts in real time over technology.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, this is a little bit different, because when I talk to specifically music artists, I'm kind of talking about like their influences as far as, other music artists. But, do producers have the same thing? Do they have particular producers that they look up to, or that you said, well, don't do it like so-and-so because, that's not going to work? Do you have influences in that world?
Yeah, for sure. Mutt Lange would be one for sure, a big influence. Anything Mutt Lange has ever produced, I think, is absolutely killer. For some reason, they just always turned out to be successful. Bruce Fairbairn and Bob Rock. Bruce Fairbairn's not with us anymore, but Bob Rock, who's done everything from like Motley Crue to Michael Bublé's last album, just again somebody that really has the ability to go in and put together the team of players for the project. And get it all nailed down in a beautiful way. Those would be probably my two biggest, those guys for sure. And more lately would probably be like the guys in The Weeknd. You can't deny what they're doing with the way they've, the soundscapes they get. And it's, there's lots of great music out there in all genres right now.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go ahead and play another one of your songs by the Garage Boys, The Ring. And when we come back, we're going to wrap it up with some fun.
Like vampires in their wake, we wait for the band to break, to order a drink and sit back and think and hear our own thoughts for the day. And I stare at my ring and she does the same, but she's got nothing to say. And I pay no mind and raise a toast to the blind, 'cause she's often like this in a way. She said, I can't run around with you like this anymore. The seasons are turning to gray. And I check out my ring, and the best starts to play a song about freedom and running away. And I didn't say a word, didn't fight for the girl. I knew it was time to derail. All the pretty words and motels, we skirts and let bleed. It's the end of a short fairy tale. Late night starlight, everything is alright. Life is out there waiting for you. And your friends all said you'll be better off dead than waste time with a guy like me. Yeah, you and me is quite the disease. Hell yeah, it's coming down. Hell yeah, it's breaking down. Oh. And now it's quiet, and that's too loud for me. The man with the tap is still friendly. And he lights up a smoke and lets me cut my cigar. But it's time to pay up now and leave. He takes my glass from the bar and wipes away her and my whiskey rings. And the quiet instills, and it gets me to think I should have got her the real thing. Man, I should have got her the real thing. Late night starlight, everything is alright. Life is out there waiting for you. And the clothes lights on and it's humming a song saying you should have got the real thing. Oh, late night starlight, everything is alright. Life is out there waiting for you. And your friends all said you'd be better off dead than waste time with a guy like me. Man, I should have bought her the real thing.
Welcome back one more time to Hank's Corner, here with my special co-host Sarah Harrelson. You know her; she's been on a lot of Hank Corner episodes and premieres before, and we're talking with Dale Penner. He is a producer, engineer. I mean, he's doing all the stuff that we don't see out front, but he's what makes it sound good in the end. And so, Dale, we're going to do a little bit of a rapid fire session here and get to a little bit know about you. And everybody knows that I can't go a podcast without talking about food. And I'm glad that the camera, the way I have it set up, does not show all of me there. But I am definitely a food eater and definitely a food like trying new things out. And especially when I hear people that are maybe a place that I haven't really gotten to visit, tell me, what are your comfort foods, and what would be something special about eating, a particular dish in your area?
Comfort food, probably a greasy burger. If you got a bit of a hangover, you need a greasy burger and a hot fudge sundae. That would be a rarity, but that would be a comfort food. Other foods, I don't know. We go to a place called Deer and Almond that has all kinds of different tapas, from wild stuff to to regular beef. I go to pho, some great pho restaurants around here. I really like a wide range of food.
My kind of man.
I mean, my favorite food probably would be to just eat in Italy all the time. That's stellar food right there.
What's your favorite place you have visited in the world?
My favorite place I've visited in the world. Madrid was really cool. Budapest was pretty cool. They were on a different kind of level. Budapest was sad. Madrid was just big and had like the oldest of a lot of things. And then Rome was a highlight, where you get on you take the subway around town and you get off at the subway stop called Colosseum and you walk up the stairs from the underground, and there's the Roman Colosseum right there.
Oh, that definitely sounds interesting. I have not been to all those places, but I have been to Madrid. The other ones sound like fun that I need to get to. Now, talking a little bit of stereotypes here, being from Canada, hockey fan or not.
Absolutely. I'm still kind of a little weepy that my Winnipeg Jets were knocked out of the playoffs on the weekend.
Yeah, that is tough. But hey, my Philadelphia Flyers were knocked out, I guess, game 1 or game 2 of the season. So, we had a little bit harder time than you guys did.
Yeah, you've had some good runs, though. Yeah, the Flyers have had some good runs.
Dale, what's a song you're most proud of producing, or at least one that, you love listening to over and over again that you've done over your career?
Boy, I don't know. That's a tough question. That's a really tough question. I think sometimes it's just my favorite song is usually the song I'm working on at the time. I tend to listen to the projects that I'm working on a lot, even on my downtime. My favorite song, "Heaven in Your Eyes," that I did with Loverboy is pretty. I didn't produce that song; I recorded it, and just the way the whole thing came about, and that it was like a hit that nobody thought was. It was a hit because of the movie, and it was just a lot of fun because it was early in my career, and I was kind of starstruck because I wasn't really an engineer. I was like an assistant engineer that called in to do this job, and next thing you know, the movie's a hit, and so is the song. So that I love listening to that song. Yeah, Mike Reno sings the shit out of it.
And once again, as the videographer side of me, have you starred in any music videos that you produced, or just any videos in general? And would you?
None that I can tell you about.
We got a cameo, you, Dale.
I don't. I've probably been in videos. Yeah, I don't know though. I couldn't think of any. Not necessarily, but I've hung around with a lot of cameras, so I'm not sure, Hank.
You got to be careful because you never know what might show up of you on the internet, right?
That's true.
Well, he might be in the upcoming Women Behind the Lyrics documentary.
That's true.
Wow. And tell us really quick about that, Sarah.
Yeah, so I've been working on this for a year. My label, Synapse Publishing and Entertainment, is putting on a documentary called Women Behind the Lyrics. So this fall, this October, we're going on a whole tour. It's myself, Delaney Ann, Wendy Moten, and Judy Pastor. So it just kind of takes a behind the scenes look of what it's like to be a female in the music industry without a whole lot of backing, and what it's like to be on the road, and everyday struggles that women might deal with in music. So it's just a great honest look of what it's like to be a female in the music industry, and I'm really excited to go on tour with these ladies and perform some of our songs together this fall.
All right, definitely looking forward to that, and we'll see if Dale makes a special appearance anywhere and any of the.
Well, I'm hoping to make it to the Houston for the end of the tour. I worked on a few songs on that. That's part of the soundtrack, and it's going to be a fantastic tour. These girls are all amazing artists in their own right, and then to get them all together like this, it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll be nice. We'll be at the CMA of Texas Awards in Houston on October 15th. So Women Behind the Lyrics is receiving an award, and then I think other artists that you worked with, Dale, are nominated for an award as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, congratulations on that. And, I've kind of let it go a little bit too far now. I need to, own up and try to figure out what is the truth and what is the lie that Dale's been spreading over here. Now, Sarah, as the guest co-host, would you like to guess first, or would you like to guess second?
I'll guess second.
All right. So I'm going to go first. I need to figure out, as an engineer and producer, if you sold more than 14 million albums, or 14 million songs, I guess I should say, your interest in golf has made you a strong competitor, or your first production was done at the Mushroom Studio in Vancouver. I'm not really sure. I'm just going to say, because I want you to have sold at least 14 million, that is going to be true. And then just because of the Canadian aspect, I'm going to say that the Mushroom Studio was the first one, and that you're not an avid golfer. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah, I feel like the first and third one could be trick questions, but I don't really see a whole lot of Canadians playing golf, so I'm going to say that the golf one is the lie.
Oh, I should have said hockey. Damn it.
So we were right then, huh?
Absolutely, you guys were right. I
Now,
wish
would
I
you-
would have had a little. If I had a little bit of lead-in time, I could have come up with some better questions.
Well, no, that's fine,
that was
because, like I
fun,
said,
too.
it
That
is
was
tricky because of the fact that people will like to do that. You think it's obvious that, well, a Canadian may not be playing golf, and then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I travel all the time and do it. Who knows? And
Yeah, you never know.
I've been surprised by people I've run into like that for sure.
would you like to play golf? Because I have no interest in it at all.
I don't know. I think maybe in a few years I might think about it, because if I had, I don't know if I'd like to play golf. I'd have to try it a few more times to know.
What about you, Sarah? I know you're athletic and a lot of stuff. Is that something that you do or want to take up?
Yeah, I think it's much more fun playing golf than watching it. I feel like it's always boring watching other people play golf, but I grew up somewhat playing golf because my aunt and uncle were avid golfers, so sometimes I would join them or they would teach me, but I haven't played it in a long time. But I do enjoy it as long as it's not too hot. Like, you're in Florida, Hank, so I can't imagine unless you're doing early hours golfing all the time.
First guy in the
Yeah.
green in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass on that too, because I
It's
definitely
the
don't
thing
like
about
it.
golf, I think, is they're beautiful golf courses. So, and it's a relaxing place to hang out. But it can,
Yeah.
from my experience, it's a little frustrating to try
Yes.
to get that little ball around to the right spot.
Yes, it's not relaxing to me. But then, but that being said, congratulations on over 14 million, songs being sold.
Well, thank you.
Well, it's definitely been an honor, Dale, having you on. Of course, Sarah, guest hosting. And, of course, Sarah, if you want to be a co-host again, just let me know. And Dale, if you ever want to come back, you got some new projects, you're always welcome on Hank's Corner.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for having me on here, you guys.